Hello. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me. I'm just going to kick off all our sessions in whichever platform we are on. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for tuning in. This is AM's with Annette, your UK business update. So thank you for joining me today. Dimitri, thank you so much for tuning in again. I do appreciate it. Hello, Calvin. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for tuning in. Whichever platform you are on this morning, I do very much appreciate you tuning in. This is AM's with Annette, your UK business update, happening weekdays at 11 a.m. or rather, I should say Mondays to Thursdays at 11 a.m. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for tuning in, everyone who is doing that. Thank you for everyone who is starting to hop on this session. I do very much appreciate it. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Carl. Thank you, Puffin. Thank you, Marina. Thank you to Tick London. Thank you. Your names are coming through slightly too fast for me to catch up with them all, but thank you for everyone who's joining me. If you are joining, do give me a hello in the comments. Do let me know that you are here. Hi, 72 Puffin. Thank you for saying hello. Cars I love, thank you for letting me know that we are top live just now. So I do very much appreciate it. For those of you that don't know me, if you're tuning in to my live for the first time, my name is Annette Ferguson. I am CEO of Annette & Co, UK-based accounting firm. I'm a chartered accountant, certified profit first professional, and I help business owners take home more money from their business for them and their families to enjoy. Of course, at this point in time, that is incredibly challenging for many businesses, which is why I do these live sessions to help and support you both during this time and, of course, beyond. So today's session is AM's with Annette. This is your UK business update, where I cover all things that have happened in the last 24 hours around UK business, whether that be in relation to government support, whether that be in relation to the banks, the economy, those types of things is what we talk about in these sessions. So thank you for tuning in and thank you for joining me. Hey, Lily, thank you for joining me today. Thank you so much for saying hello. Stephen, thank you for your political views there. I am also in Scotland as it happens. Whereabouts are you? I'm just south of Edinburgh, I'm in the borders. So it's lovely to have a fellow Scot on. So thank you for tuning in and joining me. Honor Milner, Libby Adams, Lee Reynolds, thank you everyone who is hopping on and joining this. As I say, you're in Greenock, not too far away then. Thank you for joining me. I do appreciate it. Like I say, this is AM's with Annette UK business update. So I have a few things that I want to go through today and share with you. The main one is that the Chancellor is to announce creation of a free labour pool for companies for 6 months. There's going to be a £2 billion job creation scheme to stop UK young people being blighted as the COVID generation. This is intended to stave off an unemployment disaster, particularly amongst young people. The Treasury is going to create a pool of what they are calling free labour for companies paying minimum wage up to 300,000 people aged 16 to 24 for 6 months from August. So I'm sure we'll get more details on this as the days emerge. But what it looks like is that the government are going to basically pay the wages at minimum wage level for businesses who are employing young people for a 6-month period starting in August. Of course, we don't know at the moment if there is any rules around what sector that might have to be, what that looks like, but we'll, as I say, we'll await some more details, I'm sure, over the coming days for that. But that is a very interesting move and potentially might interest a lot of businesses, particularly small businesses, in terms of actually bringing staff on where they feel like they're not sure at the moment if they should, and they're a bit nervous and apprehensive about it. This is potentially a way to bring some people on for 6 months. Whether, again, there will be a requirement to employ for a certain length of time afterwards, whether there'll be a lock-in period, we just have no idea at this point what that will look like. But you know, the headline on that looks nice initially. As I say, the devil is sometimes in the detail. So let's wait and see what the detail says on that as well. Thank you everyone who's tuning in. Thank you for joining me. Calvin, Edinburgh is a beautiful place. It is absolutely beautiful. I lived there for 7 years. Yes, 7 years. And as I say, now we are just about 20 miles south of Edinburgh. So it is indeed very beautiful. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining me. This is AMs with Annette, your UK business update, happening Mondays to Thursdays at 11 a.m. I massively appreciate all the love, the shares, the hearts, the follows, the likes, all those incredible things that I know that you all do and that I can see happening. I do appreciate it. Hey, Robert on Periscope, thank you for joining in. Thank you for saying hello. It's always lovely when people do actually say hello to me. Lakdisha, hello, thank you for joining me, thank you for tuning in, I do appreciate it. Michael, thanks for coming on, whichever platform you are on, I do very much appreciate it. We are currently live on Instagram, TikTok, Periscope, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and of course within the Uncover Wealth community, my private and free Facebook group for business owners. So if you are running a business, I would love to invite you to join me in there. You just need to go to Facebook and type Uncover Wealth community into the search bar, find the group, answer the questions, hit join, and hop on in there as well. I would love to have you in there. Hey Paula, thank you for joining me, thank you for tuning in. So the next thing I want to speak about is also actually related to employment and the job pool as well. So Matthew Taylor, the director of the labor market enforcement, has called for an enforcement of employee protection laws to be comprehensively rethought after failures in factory working practices in Leicester were exposed by an increase in coronavirus cases. Of course, we saw them being exposed for below minimum wage pay. So we are hearing that people in those Leicester factories were being paid around £3, £3.50 an hour, of course, significantly below the minimum wage levels, and also in dangerous conditions, being asked to work without social distancing in place, without appropriate measures being taken to protect their health. Now, this is something that should have disappeared long ago. We have laws in place against these things, but of course they need enforcement, and unfortunately, enforcement has backed off in the last 10 to 15 years. So this is something that really needs to be looked at, because you have employers who are acting legally, who are doing everything they need to do. And those employers and those businesses are losing out to businesses who have illegal practices and shoddy practices. And that's not okay when we look at the whole scheme of things, either for the employees or for the business owners who are doing the right thing and doing the legal thing. So we need to get much stricter on that. And, in all honesty, people, I'm hoping, will start voting with their purses and actually not buying from businesses that are exposed in these shoddy practices. We've seen a drop in share price of some of these businesses over the last 48 hours as well. Luckily, because it should be reflected in the share price when they're doing illegal practices. So that is what we are seeing. Happy birthday, Gabe. Thank you for joining me. Gaza Boy, thank you for following. Richard, thank you for tuning in. Abdul, thank you for hopping on. Steve, thank you for joining me. Benj, lovely to see you again. Benji, thank you for joining me. Thank you for tuning in. Wherever you are, I do massively appreciate it. I massively appreciate the love, the shares, the hearts, the likes, the follows, all those wonderful things. I do very much appreciate it. So what else have we got today? JD Sports Chairman Peter Cowgill is calling again for some kind of rent reform when it comes to commercial tenancies. This is something that's being floated a lot at the moment, is some kind of commercial tenancy rent reform, because of course, over this period of time when retailers had to shut, many of them still were being asked by their landlords to pay in full for those rent periods. And that has caused the collapse, quite frankly, of a number of businesses as a result. So the JD Sports chairman is saying we do need reform in this area. He has warned that there needs to be some kind of rent realism to enable retailers to fully open all their sites if they have multiple sites as well. And he's also saying that when you rent a commercial premises, what you are essentially buying is footfall. And if footfall decreases, therefore, the value of that commercial asset to you decreases, therefore you should have to pay less. That is the argument. Now, similar models actually do exist in the US, but they don't exist in the UK when it comes to commercial rents. So this is something that many people are wanting to try and start introducing into the UK system to follow that model, because it's believed to be fairer to the retailers. However, the downside is that, of course, if you are a commercial landlord, you have no impact on how good the business that you let to is at selling. You have no impact on that at all. So if it's in any way linked to the revenue of the business, of the commercial, of the retailer, then that also feels unfair to the landlord, because the landlord cannot impact how good a business you're running from that commercial premises. So there's issues with both models in reality, and maybe some kind of hybrid might be needed where they have a minimum floor of rent and then they get an upside or something like that. Richard is saying Amazon are making even more money. Yeah, absolutely. So there's been a boom in e-commerce over this period of time, not just with Amazon, but other people who are moving their businesses into an e-commerce model, and who are also, starting their own Amazon FBA businesses, and all those kinds of things are happening a lot at the moment as well. We've got a lot of inquiries just now from lots of people wanting to tap into the Amazon boom and actually set up Amazon FBA businesses at the same time as well. So we're seeing a big increase in that just now too. Don't understand that question. And I think it might be offensive, so I'm going to ignore it. Thank you everyone who's tuning in. Thank you for joining me. I do very much appreciate it. I appreciate you tuning in. Of course, JD Sports, the JD Sports chairman saying that, of course, is relevant too, because Go Outdoors, one of their brands, has just gone into administration as well. So that is going to be the value of property, and the rent side of things is going to be very important as well for them. So that is, it's my cat. I was wondering what that noise was, but it's my cat walking around, which is lovely. We are also hearing that hello Fix Clan, thank you for joining me. Thank you for tuning in. Hello Matthew. Hello Keith, thank you for joining me. Excuse me. So we're hearing that 3 pubs have closed in England due to COVID cases, of course. Now, the question that leads to, that comes from that basically is, are these pubs going to be, or any business in fact that is now requested to close again, that has been allowed to reopen, that is then requested to close as a result of cases, whether that be local lockdowns, individual places, whatever that might be? What does that mean for them financially? Is there any additional support available? Because now they are being disadvantaged compared to their competitors. Before, of course, everyone was in the same boat, but now, certain areas, certain businesses are going to be specifically disadvantaged as a result. And therefore, there's going to be calls for financial support or something for those businesses that are being forced to close as a result of local lockdowns, as a result of individual hubs finding out that they have cases, having to close and quarantine their staff and those kinds of things. So we haven't heard anything on that yet, but it will be interesting to see what comes of that, because there has been a little bit of lobbying around some kind of local fund that might be available. People are suggesting it gets administered by the local authority at that level, but money is supplied by government to do that. We wait and see on that one. It sounds like it might be plausible, but whether or not, of course, the Chancellor wants to give more money away in that way, we just don't know at all. Benj is asking, in terms of stocks, where would be the wisest to invest? Now, Benji, I am not allowed to give specific investment advice. I'm a chartered accountant, and that is actually against our code of practice. But in terms of which stocks would be wisest to invest in, looking at what the trends might be in the future is always going to be important. We're going into a recession. So what's happened in previous recessions? What are those trends? What makes money in a recession? And those kinds of things is going to be interesting to look at. You probably also want to have that ethics hat on, like we have seen with the issues with those garment factories in Leicester. You're probably going to want to consider those types of things as well as you are making some decisions around that. Of course, remembering that, stocks go up as well as down, and you should only be investing money that you have to lose as well. So that is something to bear in mind too. Robin in the UK saying I'd be good as someone asking questions of politicians at select committees. That would be a lot of fun. I have a lot of questions. I could certainly ask a lot of questions with that, Robin. Maybe I need to work out how I can get one of those roles, because particularly in relation to business, I have a lot of questions and thoughts around that would be incredible to be answered. Whether or not, of course, you get them answered by asking questions at select committees is another matter. But it would certainly be good to get questions answered to many things that are incredibly pertinent to small business at the moment. I speak to probably 50 small business owners a week, and so I feel like I'm quite tapped into the many of the issues that small business, and I of course run my own small business, so many of the issues that small business owners face, and I think a lot of it is being ignored at the moment, actually, potentially not on purpose. There are, of course, many things that are happening in the background that we never hear of, and those kinds of things. But there's a lot of stuff that also still needs to happen at the same time. And whether any of the measures, of course, we are expecting an announcement from the Chancellor today, the 8th of July, and we've kind of been trickled some of the things that may be announced there, the jobs thing being one of them, potential cut in VAT specifically for hospitality sector being another. We're also potentially hearing about some kind of stamp duty holiday or freeze, particularly on the lower end of the market, first time buyers. And it's also being floated that there might be some kind of fund or vouchers being given to each adult and child in the UK to encourage spending in businesses that have had a drop in spending. So not sure which of any of these will make the announcement later today, but we'll see. We'll see what comes of that as well. Robin saying small business have been shafted for support by the government. It's certainly not been where many would have liked, Robin. I agree with that. It has, and for many have been left out, unfortunately. And I completely understand the sentiment, why people are feeling that it's unfair. Very many small business owners, particularly directors of small limited companies at the moment. Many are struggling personally as well as the business as well. So I completely understand your feeling there, Robin, and I speak to people every day that feel exactly the same. So I completely see where you are with that. So I will be back again tomorrow at 11 a.m. UK on whichever platform you are watching on now. Once again, I massively appreciate the love, the hearts, the shares, the follows, the likes, all those wonderful things. Thank you so much for them. It means a huge amount to me. So thank you very much for that. As I say, pop in your diaries, 11 a.m. tomorrow. I will be back. I have tea. I absolutely 100%, of course, do support the Black Lives Matter movement. Absolutely. So we will be back again tomorrow, as I say, at 11 a.m. UK, 4 a.m. with Annette, similar format as we have today. I would also love to invite you, if you're not already a member of the Uncover Wealth community, my private and free Facebook group, please do come and join me there. I host exclusive trainings in there and exclusive content in there as well. So please do come and join me inside the Uncover Wealth community. I would love to have you there. if you are a business owner, you just need to head to Facebook and put Uncover Wealth Community into the search bar and you can find me there. Or you can click the link in my bio as well. Robin is saying not on Facebook. No worries, Robin. Not everybody is, of course. I understand that. But feel free to follow me on other platforms if you are not on Facebook as well. I'd love to see you on some other in some other places as well. Again, the links are in my bio, so you can get all the links there. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, everyone. It has been lovely as always to speak to you, and I will speak to you all again really soon. Take care, everyone.